Hello everyone, this is the midweek analysis of Bank Nifty on how market auction pre-expiry with potential scenarios that may likely to play out for tomorrow's expiry. Let's quickly get started. Good morning everyone. Today is the 28th of April, time is 8:30. So the market is clearly heading higher and auctioning above this balance that we had for the last couple of weeks. However, the volume expansion that we've been having is quite poor. So on this up move, the way I would have expected the volume to play out is probably on the upside. However, the volume seems dropping. So the trade facilitation that we are having to the upside on the Bank Nifty is quite weak. Another important nuance that we had was especially these lows for the last couple of days kind of coinciding with the highs of the prior day. So this is a typical action by the day time frame traders who trade at the exact visual references. Smart money wouldn't really wait for these exact references to play out. In addition to that, we are approaching this important reference of 32,899, 33,000. So this will be an important inflection point to watch out for. Why is this important? Because this was the prior all-time highs as well as the composite prominent point of control for the auction that we had during the first week of April. We'll take a look at that when we get into the market profile charts. So the port trade facilitation that I was talking about is exactly this reference where we had a port low and also week low here on the 22nd of April that exactly coincides with the lows on the 12th of April. So there are quite a lot of poor references that we have on the downside. Though we started on time framing to the upside, we have some weak references. So if the market were to reverse at some point, there are high odds that these weak references and the poor references would get revisited. Does that mean that we'll have to short now? Absolutely not. This is an important information to carry forward. It doesn't mean that we'll have to get out of the long trades and enter the short trades. Okay, the other important reference that we were looking at are the lows on the 26th and the 27th of April. The lows are exactly the same with just few ticks difference. So this is a typical action by the day time frame traders. If we were having other time frames like the higher time frames involved within the markets, we would not really kind of retest exactly the same levels because smart money wouldn't wait for the exact references to enter their trades. And also the trade facilitation that we had on this particular day is quite poor. We had quite a few overlaps where the market seems really struggling to head higher. And if you look at the volumes specific these particular days, there's quite a bit of reduction in terms of the volumes. The reason being we had composite point of control or high volume node from the week starting the 5th of April to the 9th of April. So this is an important zone to watch out for. As we just looked at on the daily charts, 32,899 to 33,000 is an important reference to watch out for was the prior all-time highs, as well as coincides with this high volume node from where we had a gap down and a value that has developed lower for the last couple of weeks. So any rejections within this zone is likely to start the auction to the downside. I'd probably relook at all the poor trade facilitation and the poor references that we had on the downside. If the market were to find acceptance above this HVN, we're likely to head for a retest of 33,500. All right, so the time is 10 a.m. in the morning. We seem to be clearly accepting above the 32,900 and 33,000 levels. However, there hasn't been a strong momentum as we can see. However, the prices are clearly trading above the R1 pivot as well as the VWAP. One of the important references that we have for the day are the longs that entered, especially around 32,950. So these longs that entered in the morning would expect some momentum coming into the market and start trading above 33,100 and 33,150 zone. As long as we start exhausting within this range, we may go for the retest of 33,000 and 33,950, and that is an important level for the bulls to hold. In case if there is any liquidation and acceptance below this particular level, we may probably head for a retest of morning's open as well as the small gap that was left from yesterday. So keep watching for momentum above 33,100, 33,150. Yes, if If there is any momentum, then we may open up some short covering. Otherwise, the buyers seem to be exhausting within this zone and probably may go for inventory adjustment of week longs before heading higher. That's all for now. I'll come back during midday to review how the market is auctioning. Welcome back, guys. The time is 12:30 in the afternoon. As we discussed in the morning, we had a bit of an exhaustion in the B and C periods that led the inventory adjustment of the week longs towards 32,950 that we discussed, and then immediately we saw a bounce, again pretty much a day time frame action where the buyer stepped in right at the halfback of a period. However, the momentum still seems to be on the upside. So what buyers did prior to 12 p.m. was kind of trying to find acceptance and absorb all the supply that was coming in, because clearly there is supply and responsive sellers stepping in on every rise, especially in B, D, E, and F periods. So eventually the sellers gave up. That led to start of a spike to the upside. So currently we are trading about 33,150 levels. So the momentum is on the upside. The buyers are in control of the auction. The prices are trading well above the VWAP as well as R1 and R2 pivots. So as long as the price stays above the initial balance levels, especially the 33,150, buyers continue to remain control of the auction during the second half. Okay, that's pretty much it for now. We'll come back at 3:30 in the evening. Welcome back. The time is now 3:30 and the market has closed. So what a fantastic day that the bulls had, especially forming a triple distribution to the upside. So it's a nice trend day in action. Buyers formed the first distribution, the lower distribution in the morning, and eventually got a spike in the G period and formed a smaller distribution in H and J periods, and then eventually and got a spike yet again in the J period to form a third distribution. The buyers have been so strong, they eventually got a close towards pretty much the high point of the day. There has been a poor high. However, this may likely to get cleared off tomorrow morning. On the candlestick charts, the rally that we had, especially between 12 to 1 o'clock, is backed by some strong volume expansion. And also the breakout or the single prints that we had in the J period is also backed by strong volume expansion. So this zone of 33,400 to 33,500 is an important demand zone. Watch out for tomorrow's expiry. While on the upside, 34,000 is a psychological reference level where sellers may appear. The kind of close that we have got today suggests that we may potentially have either a gap or an open within the upper distribution or distribution number 3. Any open drive or acceptance above yesterday's high clearing off the poor highs, we may probe 34,000 psychological reference level, above which we may head for 34,500. After having a 1,000-point move in today's auction, I expect tomorrow's expiry is likely to be range bound, or the odds favor for a range bound expiry as opposed to an explosive one. That's all for today. If you find this content useful, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.